What is up, fellow dorks? Thank you for tuning in to Mana Rant episode 48, a historic podcast. We specialize in everything in the historic format, and that includes historic brawl as well. We are the Mana Dorks. My name is Michael Apollo, and I don't know if you can see, well, not very well, but look, I am sporting our new Mana Rant podcast merch. Pretty cool. I got that via DrunkenDork, so thank you for that, sir. And we want you guys to know that if you join our Discord, and we'll be posting news about it later on, whether we do Patreon and stuff like that, we'll do a poll and let you guys decide how you guys want to get future merch in the future. So, really cool news there. But moving on, keeping on theme here, next, you enter into an inn and see a drunken man sipping his cocktail, pantsless, smiling creepily. We have Hoshi.
Yeah, thank you. That sounds like my dream come true. I mean,
that's a pretty fucking low bar, dude.
I mean, I would
psycho shit, dude.
I would like pants. I'm not comfortable without pants on. So
we got a theme going on here, man. Okay. This is Dungeons and Dragons. Okay?
Pants,
dude. I love shirt cocking, dude. That is like absolutely my favorite thing to do. My wife hates it, especially when you have a button-up shirt and it's just like right in between the fucking tail. You know what I mean? It's great.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and I hate it.
Shirt
hate it
cocking.
so much.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah, it's a thing.
All right,
it's a terrible thing.
All right, so again, moving on theme here. Finally, you encounter a pantsless, big head, drunken goblin flying across the room. We have DrunkenDork.
Wow, what's up with pantsless, dude? Do you want us to be pantsless all the time? Is this what you're asking for?
Dude, no, this is Dungeons and Dragons, bro. Like, this is how the game is played, okay? Like,
pantsless? Is that how it's played?
That's not how I played it. I don't know.
Dude, you don't know what's going on under the table, man.
Dude, everyone's definitely got pants on, except maybe me.
Every dungeon master I've played with has told me to play pantsless. Dude. It's part of the rules, man.
Oh, that is very creepy.
You can't argue with that. Yeah, that's true.
All right, so like I said, we are the Mana Dorks, and this is the Mana Rant podcast. So grab your D20s and get your +2 daggers, and let's venture into some dungeons. And now, at any time, if you want to skip to the main topics of tonight, please refer to our main phase 1 and main phase 2. If you're watching via YouTube, you can click the time annotations down below. Other than that, the way that our show works is through the actual phases of Magic. So we have our Untap, Upkeep, Draw, main phase 1, Combat, main phase 2, completely just blanked out, and Step Cleanup, and then finally our Discard. I'm getting a little brain fart. I think I need to, go ahead into our
Untap.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Untap. So that's where we untap a drink of our choice and talk about what we're drinking tonight. I normally, lately, have been doing the Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer. I decided to go up 20 more calories and go with Truly Pineapple.
Nice.
Yeah. Feeling a little risque.
Probably less carbs, I bet, though.
No,
maybe not. I don't know. More carbs. Okay.
Yeah, Truly is truly more carby. So yeah, nothing special on my end. DrunkenDork, I see you pouring something while Master Hoshi over there is doing something. So what are you drinking this week, Drunken?
Toasted coconut chocolate porter. Sounds tasty.
Dude, I gotta say, man, you find some really good porters and stouts. They sound delicious. Toasted coconut.
Yeah.
All right.
Smells like a pina colada in here.
Dig it. Mr. Wizard, American Psycho.
Yes.
Our number one drunken connoisseur of liqueurs. What are you doing?
This is a coffee martini. So it is Mr. Black coffee liqueur, which is like a cold brewed coffee liqueur, which is just fantastic. And then some vanilla vodka and some actual just coffee in here mixed up and shaken, not stirred.
Wow,
Nice.
That actually sounds really good. I dig it.
Fantastic.
Well, cheers to you boys. Cheers to everyone out there. Cheers to everyone that follows us on Discord.
Cheers.
And if you haven't, please like, subscribe, click that bell notification. Help some dudes out. Cheers to all you.
Ding, ding.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm going to say, so yesterday I went out drinking with my wife for my birthday, and I never drink liquor. And I did. Yesterday I was drinking liquor, and I was so fucking hungover today. It was miserable, dude. I had a miserable fucking day today.
Oh, that's all. Well, maybe when
Miserable day, dude. It's the podcast.
Yeah.
It's a good day.
Yeah.
It's a good day.
maybe when you grow up, you'll not get sick anymore. You know,
when I grow up, it's never happening.
When you're a big boy, you know.
Well, maybe this next phase will help you lift your spirits because this is the
Upkeep. Get ya upkeep.
Upkeep. Yes, that is going to be our Reddit rant. So I'm going to turn it over to Hoshi, and he's going to tell us what we're ranting about this week. Take it away.
All right, guys. So Reddit Rant is where we scour the internet for lunatics ranting about Magic the Gathering, which is not hard to do because Magic the Gathering is a game that invokes strong emotions in literally everybody that plays it most of the time. So most of those people, they go to the internet and just vomit their emotions all over the place. And most of the time, it is in terrible grammar. And I think we have a pretty good one this week. So let's take a look at our Reddit rant. So we have coming from Facebook, Magic the Gathering Arena MTG group. And this is Jesus Sains. Yeah, I'm not getting that one right. And this is one of the hardest ones to read that I've ever had. So strap in for me to stumble around a lot. Okay, here we go. Jesus says, if you think a spin down D20 is why you gonna lose the game, ... It's not the spin down D20. Are you even looking at the cards? What the fuck is he talking about already? I'm already completely lost. Are you guys? Okay.
Strong opener.
Okay. Here we go. Maybe he'll clean it up here. All right. If the 20 roll was the only thing they did, there is still no excuse to lose the game automatically. Even if all players using normal D20s, if they roll multiple nats, which I think is natural 20s or whatever that means, these players are still going to cry foul. That is what these people do. Mark my words. So someone will be calling for dice roll cards to be banned within a week of this set drop. Oh my God. He got a coherent sentence in there at the end of the thing. So I think I think that was one of the hardest ones for my brain to read out of any of our mana rants or Reddit rants so far. But then in the end, I think he's saying, I think to summarize the essence of what Jesus is trying to get across is that people are going to bitch about the D20 mechanic and say that it's broken and call for it to be banned. What do you guys think that Jesus said in here? Can you guys translate this?
I mean, when I read this, I was like, I don't understand what he's like. Is he just saying that the D20 is going to be broken? All right, cool, dude. Yeah, it's probably going to be broken. Good job.
No.
I'm glad that you took like a whole paragraph to say that. And like very fucking like I don't know. It's just good job.
Yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about. Only because you said multiple nats. So I think you're like referring to spin down die. Like only then because of you, I was able to like connect the dots and maybe that's what he's complaining about.
I
but
think
again, no thanks to him.
I think a critical roll is like a natural 20 or something. I don't know. I like a not super big D&D player, but someone in the comments can let us know what the hell this guy is talking about. But I like this guy. With that being said, ... What the fuck? A D20 and a spin down are different. Roll D20s. Those are different? I thought they were the same thing.
Yeah, so okay. A spin down, it's like it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It like spins down the dice. Where a D20, a real D20, it's the numbers are all over the 20-sided die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. All right. Well, hey, we're learning things here on Mana Rant. Well, anyways, this was one of the most incoherent, Reddit rants I think that we've had so far, which is just great. The grammar is getting worse on the internet week by week. Soon it's going to be grunts and moans into Facebook, so I'm looking forward to that. And if any of you guys out there find any Reddit rants that you think are worth sharing with us, shoot it our way. We love to read these, and maybe it'll make the show. Yeah. And with that, back to you, Apollo.
All right, so after our upkeep is always followed by our
draw, motherfucker.
Yeah, you heard the man. Let's draw. Which Magic formats and decks have we been playing this week? So let's turn it over to the Drunken Dork. What have you been doing this week in the world of Magic?
So I want to touch quickly on, because I wasn't here last week, I did play the 100-card singleton that week, and I hated it. As soon as I got through I beat all of the, criteria of like 5 games or something. I just did not play it at all anymore. I fucking absolutely hated that format, for exactly the reasons I was saying. I wasn't going to like it, and I was right. Like, I didn't like it for that reason. Anyway, besides that, I've actually been playing, I'm breaking rules here. I've been playing MTGO recently, which the client is so bad. It's so fucking slow and like
Windows
awful.
95.
Yeah, it really is, dude. Yeah, it's like fucking
expensive.
an Apple II,
Yeah.
And it's terrible, but I'm not gonna lie. Modern, I've been playing Modern. I actually had a deck in there already. I had Modern Elves. And so I just had to update a few cards in it, which I already had, like, tickets are how you get cards in that. And so I already had a few tickets, so I didn't have to spend any money. So I made what now is, like, the Modern Elf deck. And it's so fucking powerful. It's like, it really is like night and day between playing Modern and Historic. A lot of people say Historic's catching up to Modern, and yeah, that's very true. It is. But like the power level of Modern is like, it's noticeably more powerful for sure. Like you're like, I was dumping my hand like turn 3, and not just dumping my hand with things like Quarian Ranger and stuff in Modern. Like you're just able to make insane amounts of mana by like turn 3. And like with that new that shapeshifter that came out like in Kaldheim, that shares a creature type, you can cast cards off the top of your library. You're just fucking going through your deck, dude. It's insane. Like it's
Realm
crazy.
Walker, I think.
Yeah,
Realm Walker. Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah. So the Quarian Ranger, you untap your elf, the guy who makes fucking ton of mana, and then. And like, it's just crazy. I really, really liked it. It's really fun to play. So I've been playing a lot more of that recently. Hate the fucking client. I wish they just move it over to Arena and find a reasonable way to add like tickets or whatever. But that's never gonna happen. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Nice.
Oh, and a quick shout out. Sorry, S'mores and Bacon made a really sweet mono black discard deck, which is my jam. It's my fucking jam. I love it. I've been like having pretty good success with it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, dig it. No, I love Modern, man. What about you, Hoshi? What have you been doing in the week of Magic?
Man, I've had such a crazy week. I don't know. I remember playing the 100 card thing for a minute there, and it was great. I loved that a lot. I was having so much fun with like elves, and just there's so many decks that I made with it, and like I think I had fun with like all of them that I played except for Winota, because all I played against was like other Winota decks and like Omnath. That was like the two things I played with when I played that deck, so I kind of hated playing that one. But all the other ones, I felt like I had a great time, like, and I played like a good mix of opponents and stuff, and that was great. And I've just been playing Control this week and crushing people's spirits, which has been fun. But just kind of grinding out the dailies. Not really like I haven't been too adventurous. I've had too much stuff going on. What about you?
So I guess like kind of like touching on to like last week's events. Yeah, I'm like kind of like halfway in between these two guys. I did like building a lot of decks. I had some fun. The idea of the fun was there, but I also got screwed over a bunch of time. I was like playing in last week, like after post production and stuff, and Hoshi and I were still like talking on Discord, and I literally lost 9 times in a row just because I'm playing like these just
I remember that
ridiculous decks, and I can't get anything. So I'm just the screw is still real, and I don't know. I'm still ranting about it. That Facebook rant I made is still on fire, man. I get notifications every day of people
great.
like hating on me, dude.
We should revisit that and hit the good ones where people just really lay into you.
Oh,
that
man.
sounds fun.
It's big.
Yeah, that's a good one, dude. That was a good rant. Yeah.
Some people like are definitely on my side on the table because they actually read what I said.
No,
because I said you 100% have the win, but so there's like a little war.
People don't read anymore. People read like the headline, and then they just make snap decisions based on their emotions at that point. They're like, "Oh, opinion made already."
Yeah, exactly.
Here's my angry comment. I didn't finish reading what you wrote, but here's what I think. Yeah.
Actually, also the other event that I did was the one that was right after it, and that I truly hated. That was fucking dumb.
What was that?
That was a stupid event.
What event?
You can play any fucking card in any number of copies.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, I saw a post about that, and it was
dark ritual. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard one that was like
stupid idea.
Just play 6 lands and like 80 lightning bolts or whatever. It's like, and it was like, I've gone 6-0 with this. Don't bother playing. I was like, oh, that sounds awful. Yeah, great.
Yeah, I was like trying to like look up some cool deck lists to like spark some ideas, and all it was like all lightning bolts, all fervent champions, all dark rituals into some dumb combo thing, and I'm like, cool. It's like
it's really bad.
Like Frank Karsten, like a pro Magic player, and he's also like known for figuring out the probabilities of like land to spell ratios and stuff like that. And he even like was like talking about to what I think you're referring to, Hoshi. Just put this many lands and then everything else lightning bolts, and you'll win the game 100% of the time.
Wow, big shocker. Mono red was the strongest in that. Yeah.
Yeah, so really dumb. I was like really looking forward to like a new event, and when I first initially saw it, I was like, oh, what a cool idea. But of course,
it sounded
cool. Gonna abuse it the most silliest way possible.
I thought it was going to be just no ban list, right? But it was no rules basically anymore. So that was real dumb. They fucked it all up with that. They should have just made it like play whatever card. No bans. That would have been cool, I think, to see, with all the ridiculous stuff brought back in, like how that would play out. And they could have even maybe got like, good information out of that or something, maybe some good data. But no, they were like, let's go the exact opposite direction about that and get useless data. Hey, we figured out Lightning Bolt's a good card.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
No shit.
Big shocker.
I mean, that's like the kind of stuff when like you didn't understand rules. That's like how I played when I was younger. I was like, well, I'm just gonna have a whole bunch of fucking lightning bolts in my deck, and,
all go in there,
and then it's gonna work and it's gonna be great. And the guy at the shop was like, that's not how you play Magic, little kid.
No,
like,
stupid kid.
And this is Watsy doing this. Like, you can play anything you want this week. Like, come on, dumb.
Yeah.
So whatever. I'm getting a little ranty about it. So after our draw, we always go into our main phase 1. So this is going to be one of our first main topics. So this week we're going to continue on with Dungeons and Dragons. If you haven't figured it out yet, Forgotten Realms, the new upcoming set that is going to be coming out, has some cool mechanics. It's a really cool set overall, but maybe it's not as powerful as some other previous sets. We're going to kind of like talk about it, get into like more deeper into the mechanics, or at least like the flavor abilities that are on these cards, and then maybe we'll go down and talk about the overall set and feel for us as a whole. So let's go down. I guess like let's ask you, Drunken, since we didn't get to talk to you about it last week. How do you feel about Dungeons? How do you feel about that?
Okay, yeah. It's great that you brought it up because I definitely have some opinions. It's like when I sent a text, like you said last week, our pre-production, like we always we always talk about Magic. That's like the number one thing we talk about. Hence, we have a fucking podcast, right? And so I was like, oh, dungeons are going to be garbage. I said I mentioned this specifically. I said it's going to be like lesson learn. All right, lesson learn isn't necessarily a bad mechanic, but what makes it bad is the lessons aren't great, right? And the learn cards aren't great. So together, it just doesn't work, right? And like that's kind of what my opinion on this is like I don't think necessarily the dungeons are bad. Having an added bonus to a card is always going to be a good thing,
Yeah.
So like say they print we'll say what's a good card I that's in right now, like texting beast. So say they're like texting beast enters a dungeon, like they put that on a texting beast, because why not? It already has all the text in the world.
Yeah.
Then that is a good card because you're just adding one more thing to the card, right? But the thing is, if they're like this card you have up right now, Nadar Selfless Paladin, this isn't a great card. It's a 3/3 for 3 that has vigilance, and like its ability says once you finish the dungeon, it has these things, right? And like its major abilities, so you actually have to finish the dungeon for like those big triggers to go off or those big static abilities to go off.
Yeah.
And like I think just playing this in your deck isn't going to be good in Historic. It's probably going to be great in Standard, but a 3/3 for 3 isn't. I don't think it's good enough. If it had haste too, I think maybe it would. Like if we look at like the fucking like cards, like a 2/2 for 2 is a bear, right? But if you had a 2/2 for 2 that enters a dungeon, is it worth it? Probably not. But if you had a 2/2 for 2 that's like 1 in a red that has haste that has enter a dungeon, then yeah, you might play it. So it really just depends on the card, I think. So once they start releasing more of these cards, I think we'll really get a good idea of whether they're actually good or not. Like I said, I think the dungeon isn't necessarily bad. It's just the card that is entering the dungeon has to be good enough to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree, and you pretty much just summed up like really well what me and Hoshi were talking about. Like it's dependent on the cards that we get. If these cool new things that they're doing, which I do think they're cool, but if we don't have cards that back them up, then they will stay in draft or standard, and they will not see any play in eternal formats, or even silly events that we get on Arena. But let's go ahead and just turn it back to Hoshi. Now it's been a week. We've seen some more cards. Do you have anything else that you want to add or feel about venturing into dungeons?
The more cards that we see that come out with it, I think the only thing that I didn't really consider is that you can screw up really bad by picking the wrong dungeon with whatever type of deck that you're playing, right? Like in your opponent that you're playing against. Because I was looking at the elf card this week and I was trying to think what dungeon goes well with an elf deck, right? Like so I think you can really screw up with the dungeon mechanic, which I like about it. It makes you actually think about what you're doing and what your opponent is doing and what you're trying to do. So it's not just like I play this thing and it does all the stuff kind of automatic thing for you. Like you can really make some serious misplays with it, which I like because I think that's one of the great things about Magic is the fact that you can misplay and lose the game because of that. So I think that's cool. Everything else you guys said, I completely agree with.
Cool. And just to top it off, final thought, I still like the mechanic. I personally think that it will only be viable in Historic in a control or spell slinger archetype. But I will get more in depth into that when we get to our overall set and I talk about the set as a whole. So let's go on. We have some cool cards that use some cool text from the actual game of Dungeons and Dragons, and that's roll d20. Well, what's a d20? Something that we kind of touched on a little bit in our Reddit rant, and if you guys are D&D fans or at least know about it, cool, but some people might not. So a d20 is a 20-sided dice that you use for the actual live action role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons. And so I guess let's just talk about a card, and then we'll talk about some heavy controversy here. So a card that we have pulled up, which we think is a good representation of the D20, is Treasure Chest, which is an artifact at rare, and it has 4 sacrifice treasure chest. Roll a D20. And then if you roll a 1, you get trapped. You lose 3 life. Yikes. You get 2 through 9. You create 5 treasure tokens. Wow. Pretty good. 10 through 19. You gain 3 life and draw 3 cards. Whoa. And then if you get 20, right on the monies, search your library for a card. If it's an artifact, you may put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put that card in your hand, then shuffle. So pretty much like demonic tutor times fucking crack cocaine steroids. Like that is awesome. So this is a really, really good card, and it's a really good card that we feel like is good to talk about, especially with the controversy of D20. So let's just go ahead and turn it back over to Drunken. What do you think about this card? What do you think about D20 being added into the set? Do you think it's going to work with the game of Magic? Take it away.
I mean, I actually did play Dungeons and Dragons for a while when I first moved to Seattle. I played for like a series of months, like through an entire campaign, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Then I met my wife, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get laid instead. And so I stopped playing.
She won't sleep with me if I play this game. Yeah.
And so, I like the D20 in here. I don't know what people are complaining about. You know, it does make it a little more, I guess, like Hearthstone, right? Like more of a variable than like being consistent. And that's fine though, because like it doesn't affect the overall game when you're playing something like Historic. It's going to affect Standard for sure, because these are going to be the only cards you can play with for a while. And so like, I think it's fine. This card specifically, I think is fucking dope, dude. Like I love it. So the highest odds right here is you gain 3 life and draw 3 cards. Like I mean, this has potential to just be played in Historic, I think. I think it's a good card. It's fun. I like chance, you know, I like to gamble, and the hitting a 1, a critical fail is fine. You lose 3 life. That's not a huge deal. Hitting the critical success, sucks. Like dude, what? Search your library for a card. If it's an artifact card, you may put it into the battlefield. Otherwise, put that card into your hand, then shuffle. So, like, okay, that's insane, dude. That's really, really good. I like this a lot. I'm really happy with it. You know, I think it's a fun mechanic. I don't think it's going to be a huge mechanic we're going to see often or something, or it's going to break the game or anything like that. No. Whatever the fuck the Reddit ranter was trying to say. Sure, people are going to complain, but this does nothing to really affect the game. It's just a chance. Die rolls have been in the game forever, you know, so it's just a different kind of die.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Hoshi, what about your thoughts about this card and D20s as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, totally what Drunken was saying. I think that it's great. I actually love the D20 thing being added in here. I think that, it's so much more like Hearthstone-y, but at the same time, it's Magic. We are drawing cards out of a deck, you know? Like, unless you're scrying every single turn, like, unless you're scrying 3 every turn, you know? Like, you don't know what's coming next. You're top decking all the time, right? So there's so much randomness involved in Magic already. Why not throw a little bit more in there, you know? And, like, I think this is great. I like that whole feeling of like, you know, hey, YOLO, let's roll the dice on this thing and see what happens, you know? Like, am I going to lose 3 life? That sucks. Paying 7 mana, dumping 7 mana into this thing and then losing 3 life is a big kick in the balls. But at the exact opposite end, right? Like the 20 is like, it is awesome. So I love that like duality of it. I think this is, out of the D20 cards that I've seen so far, this is the most dramatic one, where you have that fail and that like awesomeness at the top end. And I was watching like Gavin, whatever his last name is, talk about these cards, and the guy that was helping design them, and they said they tried to mellow it out a lot so that it wasn't this like just super dramatic versus like, you know, falling flat on your face thing. I think this is the most dramatic card out of any of them that I've seen so far. Most of the other ones are pretty tame, you know? They're not too crazy. It's like you get to scry 1 or scry 2 or scry 3. What? Yeah, whatever. Like, you know, they're pretty mellow, and I just like the flavor of it. I think it's cool. I think they did a good job of blending in Dungeons and Dragons with this mechanic into Magic. I actually really like it. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, for me, it's great. It's one of the many things I love about this set. Maybe not so much in a competitive way, but as flavor, they said they're going to do something, and I think they really, really nailed it on the head on this one. Like this is a really fun set. The theme here, Drunken's kind of said it twice. I've been kind of hinting at it. Standard draft. Yeah. That's they're going back to the roots, and I like that. We don't have to have a bomb set that changes the format every single time, but we can have some cool cards, some cool probability, go back to old kitchen table, play some really cool cards. Not saying that this card is not going to impact in any way. It very well may be, because it is a bomb artifact. But some controversy that's been going on with these D20s is people have been asking, well, can I use my spin down die? No, you can't. Technically, you can't. Technically, you can, but there's an issue. So a spin down die, if you guys have ever done any kind of pre-release events, you always get a spin down die from the pre-release packs and stuff. And that die is ordered going up and down. So, you'll have 20 and it goes 19, 18, 17, 16, and it spirals all the way down to 1 on the other side. So the issue there is that it's not perfectly weighted. So 20 will have more grooves cut out and 1 will not. So the probabilities of getting higher numbers will be higher in theory. So that's the issue that a lot of people are having. An actual D20 die, and I wish I should have, because I have D20s and spin downs, but a D20 die, so if it has 20, right, on the top face, it'll have a number that's almost as high, like 14 or something like that, and then numbers that are low. So that chance probability is built into the die. Now, without getting too much into statistics and physics here,
I think you're already there. I think you've already gone way too deep into it.
Dude, people are tripping about this.
I get it.
People really are tripping.
I already don't care. I get it.
In a perfect world, in a perfect vacuum with a perfect throw and a perfectly weighted, both die do not matter.
Who gives a fuck?
At the end of the day, we're a NTG Arena podcast, right? Yeah. So no one in our fucking podcast should ever complain about. The only thing you should be complaining about is fucking Arena's algorithm, which you have every right to complain about because it's garbage, and you're garbage, Arena, for having that algorithm.
Yeah. I mean, our Reddit ranter was complaining in an Arena Facebook group and talk about D20s. Like,
it's true.
It's already sparking up some.
Or was he?
So yeah. So anyway,
I don't know.
I felt like I had to address that, especially if people don't know like what's going on. If you're playing paper, use a D20. Yeah, use a D20.
Sweet.
Yeah,
that's
how you do it.
You should make a video on that. With the whiteboard and stuff.
I love that stuff.
Okay.
Dude.
That's good.
I love that stuff, dude.
That's good.
I will be the first hater in your comments.
Thumbs down.
I'm just gonna add Z's. That's it. It's just gonna be a whole lot of Z's.
I'm pretty sure you both will be the first
for sure.
double dislike and then comment like fuck off, nerd.
Yes.
Get good, bitch.
Get good.
All right, let's fucking move on. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Jeez, Michael.
Jesus.
Oh, okay. Pack tactics. All right, pack tactic is not really a mechanic. It's more over like a static ability or flavorful ability. We get them all the time.
Yeah.
But pack tactics is kind of like Ferocious from Khans of Tarkir.
Yeah.
As opposed to 4 being the magic number there, 6 is going to be the magic number. So the card that we have, like for example, is Minion of the Mighty. 1 mana for a creature kobold. It's a 0/1 with menace. Pack tactics. Whenever Minion of the Mighty attacks, if you attacked with a creature with total power 6 or greater this combat, you may put a dragon creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Another really bomb card that like perfectly kind of explains what this ability is doing.
Yeah.
So Hoshi, what started with you? What do you think about pack tactics in this set?
Well, it's creatures, so it's total in total of all the creatures that you have, as long as it's power 6 or greater. So it's a little different than Ferocious because it's like all of your creatures combined. So this card we already saw from our Discord. One of our dorks posted a turn 2 kill combo with this already. where turn 1 you play this guy, and then you infuriate him twice to make him 6, and then you attack, and then you put into the battlefield the dragon that gives everything double strike, and then it's like 21 damage or something insane like that. So yeah, so turn 2 kill.
Love it.
Pretty insane. So I think this is great. And then there's I've seen some other fantastic cards with pack tactics, and I think that this is supposed to be the bad guy's ability in this. You know, like the monsters or whatever in Dungeons and Dragons. So this is kind of like their ability, which I think is kind of like a cool flavor text thing. But yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Cool. Drunken, what about you?
I love it. Yeah, I think Minion of the Mighty, I think this card's fucking sweet. Right when I saw it, I was like, oh man, this is going to be a good card. Like, someone's going to break it. And sure enough, it took a matter of 5 minutes to someone figure out, like, oh, I can kill you turn 2.
Turn 2.
Yeah.
And I think Ferocious, out of all the mechanics, I think that it's probably the best one. I think you're going to see it in Gruul. And, you know, I know I'm talking about at least one card with Ferocious in our next, in our second main phase.
Pack tactics.
You know,
You mean pack tactics?
Or pack tactics. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. And, like, not all the cards are spoiled yet. And I'm even seeing uncommons that are, like, pretty powerful. You know, give all your creatures +1/+0 and stuff. And, like, yeah, it looks great. I am happy. I hope we see it.
Yeah, dig it. Same thing as you guys. Really excited. Hope to see it in Historic, but we'll definitely be seeing some stuff in Standard for sure. So let's move on to a really cool card. The Book of the Vile Darkness. Now, this is crazy. You wrote here Voltron, so
Yeah.
it's pretty much like assembling something here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we have 3 black for a legendary artifact at Mythic Rare. At the beginning of your end step, if you lost 2 or more life this turn, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Then you can tap, exile the Book of Vile Darkness, and artifacts you control name Eye of Vecna and Hand of Vecna. Create Vecna, a legendary 8/8 black zombie god creature token with indestructible. It gains all triggered abilities of the exiled cards. So, wow, a lot of text here, but pretty much you assemble Voltron, you get a huge 8/8 god, indestructible. And there's actually a few cards like this that have this token ability where they're actually creating a token god. So I think that's like pretty unique that they're able to like swing in gods in here. So Drunken, what do you think about this card and the god tokens?
This is really cool. Yeah, like this is, I mean, kind of unique that Wizards has done things like this before with other cards, you know, where you're kind of assembling a series of cards. Like, remember those artifacts? What the fuck are they called? There was like a shield, a knife.
Cauldra. Cauldra. It's Kaldar. Yeah. Or there are a bunch of equipments. Yeah.
Yeah. There's that. And then there's, of course, the Tron lands that are very famous, you know, where you assemble the Tron lands and they all add an additional mana, which is insane. So, and generally, like, artifacts not so powerful, but the Tron land's very powerful. So maybe this will be good. I don't know. Probably not in Historic. Have they revealed the other 2 cards, like what they do?
I don't think, not yet.
No.
I haven't seen them, no.
No.
I looked for depending on what they are, I mean, this card at its face value is really good for like some type of black control deck, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you lose life, you create a 2/2. Like, that seems pretty fucking good, you know? Like,
yeah,
it is 3 black mana. I think this would fit really well into S'mores and Bacon once again, his discard deck. And yeah, I hope these other cards are also good and usable.
Cool. Hoshi, what about you?
Love it. I love the Voltron of assembling the key pieces and then it making something crazy that becomes all of them in one. You know, like that equipment that he talked about. When that equipment came out, I never was able to assemble it, but I wanted to so freaking bad, you know. I just wanted all of them to just form up into the whatever thing that was you know, and win me the game. So hopefully this turns into something cool like that. Yeah, I really love this card, and I love this whole flavor style of assemble Voltron. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be like really the big theme here in this episode is just the theming that they do.
Yeah.
You know, like I think it's just so cool. It totally represents Dungeons and Dragons. It makes me feel like I'm in an RPG, yet I am playing a competitive trading card game. So completely love it. I see this in Mono Black Discard and Mono Black Devotion if that ever comes back, because that was a very powerful deck back in Standard of old days, and briefly seen in Modern as well. So let's moving on. So again, this is all flavorful. This is not necessarily a mechanic or even an ability, but we do get looting, like when you kill a creature in D&D or an RPG, you get some loot, man. And this is a card that kind of represents that. So we have Icing Death, Frost Tyrant, 2 colorless and 2 white for a legendary creature dragon at Mythic Rare. It is a 4/3 flying with vigilance. When Icing Death, Frost Tyrant dies, create Icing Death, Frost Tongue, a legendary white equipment artifact token with equipped creature gets +2/+0. Whenever equipped creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls, and it has an equip cost of 2. So, Hoshi, you like looting and stuff like that? What do you think about this card?
I love more the actual like flavor of this card than really the card itself. I do think it's good. The dragon is great. He's or he's not great. I mean, he's all right. Flying Vigilance is pretty good on a dragon, but he gives you an equipment when he dies, which is just cool. It just feels like you're playing D&D or like an RPG or something, and then it's a legendary equipment too. That it's decent. Neither of the two effects of these are like mind blowing to me, but just together, I just love the actual flavor of this card. I think they did a great job with design. And I wish they did more stuff like this, where you kill, something dies, you get like a cool equipment or something like that. That really fits in with this set, I feel like. And I haven't seen anything else, any other cards like this so far. So I hope they do more.
Yeah, agreed. Drunken, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think this card isn't great. I don't think we're gonna really see it in Historic, but I will touch on something. So originally, our second main, once again, we all picked a few cards, and originally I picked this Black Dragon. That so it's like the black version of this, right? And they've only made a white and a black one so far, and the black one is like you can cast it out of your graveyard or something. So I'm curious if they're gonna do one for red, green, and blue, and if they're also going to be affected by death. Because the black one is like, makes me think that there's a theme here, right? Like where they're going to have these set of dragons that are all affected by, being in the graveyard or going to the graveyard or something like that, and I think there's potential, especially for a blue one. Whenever you see blue and going into the graveyard, like I always think instants and sorcery. So like I can only dream, like a reverse, like what's that one everyone plays, that artifact, that blue artifact guy, the 6 mana one where you can cast an instant or sorcery out of your graveyard. Anyway, it might happen.
Yeah,
it might happen with the dragon.
No, yeah, I completely like this card is, a 4/3 for flying vigilance, whatever. I mean, it's not like the greatest thing, but yeah, the flavor wise, it's super cool, super dig it, and I hope to see those because that would be like the bringer of the Dawns, from whatever set that was. So it'd be cool, like if they did like a theme here. And I think like the big takeaway here is like, when you're in a dungeon, the last boss is a dragon, right? Like Final Fantasy, especially and MMOs and stuff like that.
Dungeons and Dragons,
yeah.
A lot of dragons.
This art is dope as fuck too, right?
A lot of
it
really
is good.
Super good in this set.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on, the last thing we have here is the new fast manlands. Manlands are back, and they're fast, and I fucking love it. These cards are at rare, and I also love the D&D old school 70s art that they're like releasing for these, so I am super excited to get those. I want them in paper. I hope they do them for digital. So yeah, what we have here is Hall of the Storm Giants. Did anyone pick this, right? No, or should we talk about it?
No.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Sure.
Yeah, cool. All right, so we have Hall of the Storm Giants, and it is the blue land. So if you control 2 or more other lands, Hall of the Storm Giants enters the battlefield tapped. And then you can tap, add blue. And then you can do 6 until end of turn. Hall of Storm Giants becomes a 7/7 blue giant creature with Ward 3. It's still a land. And Ward is like the new pseudo hexproof, where if you target something, that person has to pay an additional 3 or else that spell is countered. So Hall of the Storm Giants, DrunkenDork, what do you think?
I love it. So I think all the lands are really good. It's funny because I think this one over all of them, it screams control to me. You know, like this is their win con. It's going to go back to, I think this card alone is going to bring blue-white control it is relevant, but even more relevant again, because this will be your only win condition, and it's going to be so slow and so fucking grindy, and you're just going to win with a 7/7 with fucking ward 3, dude. It's going to be miserable. It's going to be miserable for the other person on the person on the other side of the table. But what's funny about that is I think like all of these lands are you know, they have one for each color. I think they're actually really good against control. You know, so I think they're all going to be relevant and they're all going to be usable. I just think this one is probably the best and probably is going to see the most amount of play just because blue-white control can utilize this so well. And the fact they come in untapped if you have 2 or less lands, I think that's really relevant. That's like incredibly relevant.
Oh yeah, for sure, especially for our format, like where we depend on things before turn 4. So super dig it. Hoshi, what about you?
I could think about the other man lands. Do they all come in tapped?
They all have the
same ability.
Yeah.
No, I mean from the older sets, like the modern set and stuff.
They come in tapped.
They all come in tapped. Oh, okay. Well, then this is fantastic. then this is great. Yeah. Then this is amazing. The fact that they're fast, they're single colored. So when I think of fast lands, I think of multicolored lands. But I will say, okay, my view on this might be controversial, but I hate the fact that they put this art on the land. I love the art, okay? Love the art. I don't like it on lands. I feel like it's not a land. It doesn't look like a land. I don't know. I know that maybe I'm off on this one, but I wish this was on a normal card in the set and not on a land card. I don't feel like the book look of this belongs on a land. So it perturbs me a little bit. I love the lands. I love everything about it, except for the fact that they combined those two together. If they would have put it on a normal card in the set, like an enchantment, this would have fit fucking perfectly on an enchantment, right? A D&D book sounds like it should be an enchantment or an artifact or something, not a fucking land. That doesn't, like, those two don't make sense to me. So
I'm not sure what image you're seeing. I see something completely different.
He's talking about the alternate versions.
Yeah, the ones where they
the like storybook covers.
Yeah. Yeah, the dungeon.
So I want to say to that, Hoshi, I normally dislike you, like genuinely, like I just don't like you.
Yeah,
but now I really, really don't like you. You know, like there's an actual hatred building because you're just wrong. You know, that's all.
It just doesn't. It's a fucking book. A book doesn't belong on a land. You know, a book belongs on a goddamn artifact or an enchantment, not on a land. All right, that's it. I'm making a post. I'm making a post.
You're ranted.
That's it. Other than that, I love this. I mean, it's 7/7 giant. You know, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, super love
with
the man
Ward
lands.
3.
With Ward 3.
Yeah, super love the band lands.
Yeah.
Super love the art on them, as controversial as Hoshi
Are you?
disagrees.
Do you even know what I'm talking about? Are you looking at what I'm looking at right now?
No, I have no idea. I've never seen this book one. I've seen the regular card one, and I've seen the 1970s Dungeons and Dragons one.
Yeah,
That's what we're talking about. Yeah,
that one does not have a book on it. It has a huge colossus reaching.
No,
for
it's like
two
a
people
book
sailing.
cover. Yeah, it's like a book cover.
It's the Dungeons and
Talking about the
Dragons
border.
book. Yeah. It's the.
I love that.
Okay.
That crazy, right? He's crazy. I hate him.
What that is the Dungeons and Dragons book. It's a book, you know how Dungeons and Dragons a book that they read and stuff that they're like, oh,
yes,
look at it. Yeah,
I know.
That's what that is.
That's why I love it.
It's the cover of a book.
It's the 1970s old school modules that you would get.
Yeah, exactly. And that belongs on an enchantment or a fucking artifact, not a goddamn land. So I love it. I think it looks great too, but just not. It looks weird on a land. So
Hoshi, it would have been cool if they did it for all of them.
Yeah, whatever.
Arguments aside. Hey man, you're in the minority. It's all right. But that's pretty much the theme here. So, we got a lot of cool stuff. Like, I think something we can all agree on is there's a theme here, and I think they really nailed it, like, on the head, 100%. They really outdid themselves. Surprisingly, WotC did something right for once. They did a really good job on the set.
We'll see.
So we're going to talk about it a little bit more, about some cards that we want to talk about. But before that, we go into combat.
No, we're not.
Horseshit card game. Yay. I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
DrunkenDork, take it away.
All right, everybody. I'm back, and I am here for the Horseshit card game, if nothing else. My contribution on Magic anything is generally just fucking useless. Don't ever listen to me. Do yourself a favor. Horseshit card game, though, I nailed it down. So, the Horseshit card game is I open up a pack of Magic cards, and I pick out 3, but I name 4. And the thing is, one of these cards is fake, and it's up to these 2 drunken idiots to figure out which one of those cards is fake. And this week, I am doing Modern Horizons 2. All right, gentlemen.
Okay.
How well do you know Modern Horizons 2? We did a whole fucking episode on it, so you better know it well.
Did we?
I mean, I don't know the draft garbage, but I know the good stuff. But you're not going to take the good stuff.
In the meantime, Hoshi, why don't you explain what the point system is and everything, and while I pick out my cards.
Yes, I will. Okay, so we are now entering the declare attackers phase. And in the declare attackers phase, we pick how many points we want to bet on this game. So DrunkenDork has named the set. So after that, we enter the declare attackers phase. And so we can bet up to 3 points. If we win, we get 3 points. If we lose 3 points. We can go into the negative with this. And we've been playing this for weeks now. And currently, I am at the top of the list.
All right, calm down.
Last week, we took a week off because Drunken was not here. But the current standings are Apollo is at -1, DrunkenDork is at -3, and I am at 4. And so DrunkenDork is the house, so he does not actually bet, but he splits the difference between us. So if we lose, he wins. If we win, he loses. So he's like the house in Vegas. So Apollo, what are you betting?
Going in on 3.
3. It's going 3. You know what? I don't feel super strong about Modern Horizons, so I'm gonna go with a 1 on this one.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not feeling super confs right now.
Okay.
All right. That's what the kids do.
Well,
they abbreviate. Right?
I am ready. So we got 3 and 1. Okay, cool. So the first card is going to be Goblin Barrage. It is 1 in a red for a sorcery at uncommon, and it says choose 1. Create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens with haste. Or each creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. And then it says 1 in a red, entwine. Okay? The second one is Fodder Tosser. It is 3 colorless mana for an artifact at common. It has tap, discard a card. Fodder Tosser deals 2 damage to target player or planeswalker. Okay? The third one is Seal of Removal. It is 1 blue mana for an enchantment at uncommon. And it says sacrifice Seal of Removal. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Alright, and the final one is Arcus Acolyte. It is a green and a white for a creature, human, cleric, archer. At uncommon, has reach, lifelink, has outlast for a hybrid green-white mana. And it says each other creature you control without a +1/+1 counter on it has outlast green with a green-white hybrid mana. So since Hoshi's being a bitch this week, you got to go first with your measly 1 point.
Oh, man. What was the second one again?
Fodder Tosser.
I'm sure. I'll go with that one. I mean, they all sound like completely alien to me. So, yeah, I'll go with Fodder Tosser, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Hoshi with Fodder Tosser. And what do you got for me?
I'm pretty sure the first and third one are real cards. The fourth one sounds a little sus. There is fodder cards. I just don't know if that is one of them. So it's between that and the last one.
What? Since we're doing Dungeons and Dragons, we should have done the whole thing in Old English. What does thy have for thee?
No, we shouldn't have. That'd be a shit show.
Ye lore master, I choose fodder as well.
No, all right. I hate it already.
Fodder, I don't even know Old English at all, so exactly. I can't do it. All right, Fodder Tosser and Fodder Tosser.
You did. You went with it too.
Fuck.
Huh?
Fuck. All right. I'm pretty sure. Jacavio got it wrong. So I feel shitty because I'm actually right. You guys are fucking idiots. And the card is it's Goblin Barrage is not a real card.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't think Entwine is actually in the set.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Brutal.
I just went up 4 points. Yeah, so I think I'm out of the negatives, maybe? I don't know where I am exactly.
Did. Okay, so I have the new...
I think you're at 1 now.
I have the new standings right here. What a stunning upset. Drunken finally won one. So now it is at Apollo. Yes. You are at -4. We have DrunkenDork at +1 now. Congratulations at getting out of the negatives, dude. That's awesome. Apollo, you're back in the negatives. You crawled your way out and then right back in. And then
right where I belong.
And then I am at 3 now. So you're nipping at my heels, Drunken, and Apollo is...
Wait, what is Apollo at?
He's at -4.
What did I start off at?
Fucking idiot.
Oh, sorry, you were at -1. Yeah, so you were already in the negative, so you went worse.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool. Good job, Apollo. And my card is a complete garbage card. It is Soul Talisman, which is basically Soul Ring, but it has Suspend.
Nice.
That's cool. What it is.
Yeah, Suspend's tight. Love it. Sweet. That is the Hoshi card game where I am have a nice lead in the loser department. I'm winning in the loser department. So
I mean you're winning at something.
Yeah, you are.
Suck my D20, dude.
That's good.
Nice. Very, very nice.
All right, that was the horseshit card game. Let us know in the comments below. Did you get it right or were you wrong like these two idiots this week? So please be sure, if you're watching on our YouTube, click that subscribe and bell notification and give it a thumbs up if you dig it. It really helps out the channel. And if you're listening wherever your podcast goes and you want to follow us on YouTube, go ahead and check in the description below. You'll find our link. And also, and no matter where you're listening, join our Discord. We're getting some new followers. It's really cool. And we welcome everyone in. We talk about deck lists, deck techs, all that cool stuff, card previews, and ultimately, it's much like this. We're just having a good time talking shit.
Yeah.
So be sure to do that. But moving on, we will go ahead and finish things off with our last main topic, our second main phase. So we're going to go ahead and kind of quickly, not so much, but like a D&D card breakdown. So we got some cards that we want to talk about.
I think we should hold this off and maybe do it in another video since we're running way late already. We're at an hour.
What? How much time do we have?
We're already at an hour, so I think we should...
Whoa.
Yeah, so I think we should just hold this off and do this in a separate video than this one.
Yeah, I agree. This is getting a little long, and we don't want you guys to get bored and not watch.
This is way
What if we all pick our favorite card so far? What do you think of that? And then we just talk about one each.
I think we should just record a different video after this so we have 2 videos to put out.
2 videos? Oh my god, you're crazy. All right, well, we'll figure it out. Yeah, we don't have to do it right now.
So maybe just run over this because we're at an hour already. So
yeah, that's fine. Well, no second main phase. Yeah. Do you have a wacky wild card of the week?
Storm of the Forgotten Gods. That card that Hoshi hates. I like that one. That's the wild card of the week. Everyone should burn their wild cards when Dungeons and Dragons burns out, and get those cards.
All right, nice.
That one's terrible.
Get the spellbook cards. I don't know. Sweet, dude. All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about that next week. So we'll go ahead and finish up with our end step. And end step is a cool little segment that you guys have asked for, and we're actually really enjoying this. It's really cool to touch back. It all ultimately leads until how we became friends playing stupid magic with each other. So we're going to swing it back to Hoshi, and he's going to continue the history of his MTG obsession. We're all obsessed with the game. So I think last week, or last 3 weeks, I guess now, you were talking about like elementary, how you got in. So where did it go from there?
I mean, it went dead for a while. Like I was talking about, we went into playing Pogs and stuff. So those cards just kind of went in my closet. And since I had no one to play with, the cards don't do very much until like I was forced to go to Mormon church for a while. Which was a terrible experience, except for the fact that we got to, there were other kids that played Magic actually in the church. So yeah, I hated going so much because I went to the rules class basically in Mormon church, where they were like, no drinking, no smoking, no doing drugs, no having sex before you're married, and no dating before. Like if you double date. All this, like I was like, oh no, this is not. I don't want to do any of that. They were like, no caffeine. I was like, I can't drink soda anymore. Like, dude, done at that time, right? So. Yeah, but other than that, other than those awful things that they were like, no fun for you, they were like, there were kids that played Magic, so I got to play Magic, which is crazy because there was like all kinds of demonic black cards and stuff back in there at the day. I have a feeling like if any of the parents saw those, they would have like smacked them out of their hands and been like, those are the devil cards or something, Yeah, and like I was forced to go to that church because my uncle was like a level 20 like wizard or something in the Mormon church or something like that. So
okay. Yeah. He also played Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Was he a wizard of the coast?
Yeah. He was a high-ranking druid or something.
A different kind of Dungeons and Dragons.
Pretty much, yeah. And so so I was playing with some kids there, and then it was fun again, and they actually knew how to play, so they were actually like teaching me like about how like mana worked and like how the life was subtracted and stuff. And it was a lot to take in, but then once again, I hated that going to that church way more than I liked playing Magic with those people. So after I got out of the church, it was no more Magic. There was no one else to play with because my buddy that I like hung out with growing up, he didn't have his cards anymore. I don't know what he did with them, but they were gone. He lost them or something. So I had no one to play with after that. So it was pretty much a dead zone of MTG in my life for like quite a while until we got into high school, I think. Yeah.
You know what's weird is we all kind of like have similar stories and phases. You know what I mean? Like the gap and like why things slow down. We'll touch on that like in later weeks, but I just want to like mention that it's just kind of crazy. It's wild because I've never actually like heard about your guys' like actual beginnings before we started playing together. So
yeah, pretty much.
Pretty cool. But with that, we're going to go into our final two stages. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys do like the video, please consider clicking that subscribe and bell notification. It really does help us out. Give a thumbs up if you dig it. Join our Discord. It's a really good time. Really do appreciate it. And social media promo. It's going to be all over the place. If you're listening on wherever you get your podcast, there will be links to follow us on wherever you want to follow us. And with that, we will finally go into our Discord where we finish whatever we've been drinking.
Fuck. So, I forget. I am a fucking idiot. Every week I forget to make the horseshit card game until like 5 minutes before, and the same thing goes with drinking the beer. I just poured a whole fucking beer. I'm like, oh my god. It's like every goddamn week, dude. I mean, it's the brain. It's like I got beer brain. It's just permanent now.
I got a beer brain.
I just got a little bit left.
That's tight.
Nothing
That's
too.
All right.
Well, cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers all out there.
Thank you. Always.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.